Hey guys, Boris here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Now, I wanted to start off this video just kind of going over the basics, Why am I doing this? Well, I've had a lot of requests from friends, family, local players the last few months to do something like this really just to help kind of get some of my knowledge out there and just as another good resource for people. You know, as far as upload frequency, we'll see how it goes. I do want this to be a very interactive, very viewer-driven channel. Well, if you've got some topics that you want to see covered, shoot me a line and I'll go over how you can do that later on. And if there's certain types of things that you're hoping to see or things that you don't think it covered a whole lot that you would like to see addressed, again, I want to make this as interactive as I can. So upload frequency, at least to start with, it might not be super regular. A lot of it, like I said, is going to depend on feedback and how much it picks up. But today, I really want to go over Community Day. Community Day is going to be Saturday, January 12th from 1 to 4 p.m. CST, so 1 to 4 local time here, and it features Totodile. Now, what kind of impact are we going to see from this Community Day? We'll get to that in a little bit, but first I want to go over the bonuses and I want to go over the prep work for Community Day. Bonuses, of course, you have your 3-hour lures, and then you also have times 4 incubator speed. You know, Ordinarily, incubator speed bonuses really are not a very exciting bonus for us to have during Community Day. However, when combined with the double dust and double candy from egg hatches right now, actually does make it a little bit more worthwhile. Just as a rundown, standard incubators, a 2K egg's going to only take zero point 0.5 kilometers, a 5K in 1.25, a 7K in 1.75, and a 10 km in a 2.5 kilometer. Not bad. Super incubators gets a little crazy. You- Give or take a little bit with rounding. 2 kilometers is only going to take 0.34 kilometer to hatch. 5 km is going to take 0.84. 7 km takes 1.17, and a 10 km will hatch in 1.68. So huge opportunity there to increase your dust farming with this community day bonus. As get some extra egg hatches in. If you're a free to play player and you don't really spend much on incubators at all, well, gives you a chance to at least try to get through a few extra eggs that you may not have otherwise. Now, how do we want to prep for Community Day? I always recommend having at least 6 star pieces, lucky eggs, and incense. That way you can actually have those going for the entire length of the event. Makes a big impact, especially with the star piece if you are planning on trying to do a very serious grind. Good grind in the right spot, you can get several hundred catches during the event. So that's a lot of extra Stardust that you can build up there. And, really for all levels, it used to be Stardust was only a real big concern for the really high level players. Now with trading, with PvP, with everything else going on Stardust is so key at every level. So anything you can do to really increase that, it's going to be a big play benefit for you. So that's what I'd recommend. I also recommend clearing your eggs before Community Day if you can. That way you can, right after the event ends, go ahead and load up as many as you can into incubators after the event starts. That's going to let you really take the most advantage of that incubator speed bonus that we're going to see. And then, of course, make sure you have plenty of Pokeballs, pineapple berries, and raspberries. Those are going to be big. You will probably want to have more Ultra Great Balls. Well, it's just because the starters are known for having a little bit lower base catch rate than some of the other Community Day Pokemon we see. So definitely, especially if you end up seeing a lot of higher CP, higher level ones, you're going to probably need to tap those just so that you're not spending 5 minutes with regular Pokeballs trying to catch one. So really just making sure your item management's good, making sure you've got plenty of space, you're not having to spend a lot of time transferring out Pokemon during the event. And remember that you do actually get a full hour after the event to evolve a Totodile all the way up to Feraligatr to get its best move. So with that in mind, definitely make sure that you are using the event to really get what you can from it, and then gives you a little bit extra time for trading, anything like that afterwards to really get your best ones for evolution. Now, what are we evolving for? Well, Niantic as of yet has not actually confirmed the move that we'll see for Alligator, but we know from past patterns it should be Hydro Cannon. What's that going to do? Well, congratulations, we now have a new number 2 water type attacker behind Kyogre. Or even it's going to be about a 7% drop in damage per second output compared to Kyogre, but a Hydro Cannon for Alligator is still a 28% jump over current for Alligator moveset, Waterfall plus Hydro Pump. So having that actually puts it a little bit ahead of Gyarados for being your new number 2 attacker. What's that going to do in the meta? Great for your gym attack and for raid boss. It's going to do a lot better, especially if you don't have Kyogre or you don't really have a few really good ones. Very easy, very accessible new number 2 attacker to fill in those gaps. Heatran, eventually we'll see a few others down the road that water type's going to be useful against. And of course, you see a few fire types, a few other types down the road that you see fairly common in raid rotation, the lower tiers, that a good water type attacker is going to serve you pretty well with. So keeping that in mind, what do we then see for gym defense? Honestly, I'd still stick to a Hydro Cannon Blastoise if you have them. Just overall, Blastoise is a little bit tankier, so you're going to actually get a little bit better defense out of something like that than you will for Alligator. You know, Same issue comes up in your PvP meta. I don't see Hydro Cannon for Alligator making an impact in PvP meta. At pretty much every tier, if you were able to get a Hydro Cannon Blastoise from last year's Community Day or the weekend event in December, Hydrocan Blastoise is going to win out, especially in Ultra League, because you can completely max out a Hydrocan Blastoise and come in under that 2500, and you'll end up doing more damage in the long run and have much better survivability with it than you will with Feraligatr. So, Hydrocan Feraligatr does have a place in the meta, but it's really much more focused on that PvE raid boss meta than it is going to be for PvP. Now, that we have all that out of the way, let's talk about the local scene. The primary meeting point for a lot of people is going to be Rotary Gardens. Rotary Gardens right now is donation-based admissions until April. It's not required, but definitely consider giving at least a little bit. The gardens and the staff have been very supportive and very good partners for the Pokemon Go community. Of course, the gardens themselves have well over 20 Pokestops, which when we lure it up for Community Day makes for amazing spawn density and makes for a lot of really good opportunity there. Or, you know, take care of the gardens and the gardens take care of us. So, you know, great thing there. Or the other big thing, we have that building accessible to us. So with that in mind, that gives us a good place to warm up if it is a little bit cold that day, which it's looking like it could be. We could actually potentially see a little bit of snow in the morning, moving into some rain potentially for the afternoon. Great for weather boosting if that happens. Not as fun to be in though. So we do have that indoor outdoor flexibility there. Of course, clean bathrooms, a lot of people are going to appreciate that. It's a good facility. It gives you a good meeting point afterwards if you want to meet up with someone and do some trades, do some battling, all that. Uh, so we're going to have snacks, we're going to have drinks, we're going to have the normal raffles and everything like that. Uh, you know, Tip of the hat to Michael from the Beloit crew for always setting that stuff up. Uh, you know, it gives us a good place to really have kind of an all-weather community day solution, and that's something that you really in this area don't see a whole lot I'm excited for it. I do like the fact that Rotary has been very accommodating for us and has been working with us, especially the last probably 6 to 8 months, a little bit more so. So, in conclusion, We don't have confirmation on the move, but we basically know what the move's going to be. We know what kind of impact it's going to have on the meta. We know what other bonuses we're getting. At this point, it's just kind of start your prep work early. Opening gifts from friends is going to be a great way to get a lot of the higher class Pokeballs, Pineapple berries, a lot of the items that you'll need. Beyond that, just kind of making sure that you get your Pokemon management down, making sure you have plenty of space for them so that you can really make the most of the opportunity, making sure you have the right items to really maximize your play if you can. And beyond that, eh, look forward to seeing everyone there. And again, we'll see how frequent uploads are. A lot of it's going to depend on the feedback I get from you. If you have topics, message down below in the comments. Hit me up on Twitter at Sith Lord Boris. Hit me up on Facebook if you're part of the local groups. Other than that, see you next